This is the Lady Autist coming to you a little later this afternoon due to being on with Entertainment and Star Wars, Stevie, Les, and Shelby a little bit earlier and being one of the moderators in their live chats. This is another episode of Spilling the Tea. So we're going over a couple of things today, guys, and just like yesterday, they mesh together. So let's go ahead and get started. So it appeared somewhere out in the world today, some newspaper of some kind, how JD fans are waging social media war against AH. I just wanted to clarify a few things. First of all, it is very dismissive when you just want to group us all together as his fans, as his stans, as his depheads, what have you. You're making it sound like we're only doing this because we're fans. And that doesn't really mesh well with the reality of the situation you're looking at on social media. What you're looking at is a very diverse group of people. You've got people who are against cancel culture, this idea that you gotta dig up the dirt and completely annihilate a person's life. There are people who are also domestic violence victims who feel like AH hijacked a relevant movement in order to perpetuate a false narrative, which makes it that much harder for victims that have actually been through violence to actually be believed and actually be able to get justice. There's also folks that are a part of it because they want to bring awareness to the fact that there are male victims of domestic violence out there. Their stories should be heard. And they also, just like a female victim, should have an equal shake at justice instead of having the system look down on them because they are, quote unquote, the wrong gender. You've got folks like myself who may belong to more than just one group. Some of us who've been advocates in one movement or another for a long time, and we are seeing an individual having his life destroyed, roles lost, maligned by the media, called this, that, and the other thing without facts, evidence. They use these news articles as their sources for information instead of actually doing the digging themselves. And that really bothers advocates like me because we've seen it happen to others. I've seen it happen to people that have been with me in the neurodiverse community for over a decade. Over a decade, I have watched as people tried to discredit my fellows in very similar manner. So it's not just we're doing it because we're fans. We're doing it because we see an injustice. We're doing it because people care more about a narrative than they do about facts and reality. And quite frankly, folks, a good majority of folks are tired of it. They're tired of just accepting what's getting spoon-fed to us. We are tired of watching good people being brought down by simply another person's word with nobody being willing to go and do an actual fact check. So, that's my little rant on that. Now, what I was going to get into is there has been another stupid, idiotic study in the world of autism where we are now being criticized as not only being morally rigid and not able to be bribed with ill-gotten gains, nor do we seek them, but also apparently we're too compassionate. We care too much. Let me say that again for you. We care too much. This is what I'm talking about, folks. All of a sudden, we are willing to be spoon-fed our information, and we are willing to accept vices as virtues. And this is the kind of environment that produces people like AH who think they can get away with whatever they want, and that people will praise them for it. And guys, unfortunately, so far, they've been right. They've been right. And this is the backlash of people who are saying, no, morals are not deficits. Compassion is not a deficit. No, I'm going to use my head, I'm going to fact check, and I am going to review the information and decide for myself if I think a person is guilty or not. I'm not just going to accept the media narrative at face value. Because you can't. You can't. I mean, look what's going on now these days. Just maligning this man that we've only known as A, extremely private, B, extremely shy, and C, extremely generous for years, and all of a sudden he's a wife beater? I'm sorry, but that's a story you can't sell to me. Especially not with the evidence backing him up. Again, I want to live in a world where facts matter, where evidence matters, where having a moral code, being compassionate, and refusing ill-gotten gain even when it will benefit me is looked at as good things, not as another reason to put down people on the spectrum or even people in general. I mean, if you talk like that, you are basically diagnosing the whole world as autistic. At least the part of the world that has half a rational mind. So much for tightening up those diagnostics, huh? But anyways, now that the rant is over, just real briefly to go through a few things. More and more has been coming out about the judge on the case in the UK, Judge Nichols. It turns out one of the most damning ones is that his son actually works for the Sun. Yeah. So if your son works for the newspaper that you are in charge of the case over, shouldn't you recuse yourself? Because that very much is a massive conflict of interest. And that's on top of all the other things we have uncovered on top of it since then. So, I'm trying to figure out, was this just a judge who was afraid to go against the narrative? Or was there more of a personal interest here? And if there is that enough in the UK for a mistrial? I would certainly hope it would be enough more than enough for an appeal. Now, I do know from AH's camp, it's saying that she's got some bombshells for the VA trial. Girl, if you had bombshells, why haven't you used them already? You're so afraid of us fans. You're so afraid of us victims and advocates out there. You'd think you would have used them to shut us up or to get us on your side. You would think. So what does that make me think? That makes me think she's going to manufacture more bullshit. Sorry folks, I am marking this not for kids by the way, but all I can think is this is going to be more manufactured bullshit. I'm waiting for more pictures. I'm waiting for a redoctored photo where she's actually listened to the fans and she's going to Photoshop some actual swelling in her face. That's what I look to see. Now, here's the thing. I think they expect if things don't go the way we are hoping in VA that we're just going to go away. No, sweetie, we're not going away. Remember, age camp, if any of you watch this. I fought against the Judge Rottenberg Center for 13 years. Some of us have been in the fight for 16 years. Some of us have been in the fight longer than some of these folks on Twitter have even been alive. I didn't go anywhere when things got rough with that case. Certainly not going to go anywhere now. I'm used to long haul, long shot fights. And you know what, sweetheart? We've started winning. We've started winning. So just because it doesn't come in a day, or even maybe a year, it doesn't mean the victory won't come. The truth will win out. And that's my word of encouragement for everyone. Keep tweeting. Keep getting the word out. And most of all, guys, now more than ever, keep supporting JD. Buy his movies. Stream his movies, buy and stream his music. If he's still selling paintings, buy those. Do what you can. Heck, if he has new movies coming out, I know he just had a couple of them. And I'm probably butchering this, the Memnada and City of Lies. If you got money and aren't broke and have like maybe 1 penny to your name, go ahead, buy the movies, stream them, do all that you can, because ultimately that is going to be the best way of support. There's also petitions out there as well. Don't forget to sign those to get her removed from the UCLA, from the L'Oreal. I'm still really happy. I use off-brands. I'm broke. I've never been so happy to admit I use off-brand makeup in my life. Hey, some of it's really good. Some of it's actually really good. Some of it's actually better than some of the more expensive stuff I've used when I do have money. Alright. That's all I've got for today, folks. Again, as always, this is a real small channel. Me and the very sleeping mule over here, Mr. Brahma Cat. We don't get too many views, so please hit the like button, hit the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, please don't forget the other channels as well. I hope you have a good one. Have a great Sunday. Bye-bye.